All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Hazy Logic Wrestling. Happy New Year. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. How you been, man?
Hey man, I'm here. I'm alive. Uh, we both have been going through a couple things since the new year going. Finally getting able to sit down and record again. It's nice, man.
For sure, man. We had a lot going down. Surprisingly, the last couple weeks, I went on a little vacation. You were a little bit messed up and laid up, resting up, and finally we're back. It's been like 3 weeks, but a lot going on. And think we both thought like, man, we got to get in this weekend for a quick weekly review here. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. I guess we'll start off with we had a pretty dope SmackDown, surprisingly, right? Recorded early. If you had a VPN then you were able to see it at like 11 or 12 or whenever it came out in Germany, Berlin. If you didn't, then you just saw spoilers all day long until you got it on Netflix. But yeah, what were your overall thoughts on SmackDown?
Man, I thought it was a great show. I think, and honestly, because we haven't really talked at all since the new year, this whole year has been good shows. I'd say Raw was probably the weaker point. This SmackDown was great. I loved kicking it off in the beginning with Randy coming out and everything. It was awesome seeing Randy back this year.
On this show, we had him kind of shutting down The Miz and Trick Williams. I liked seeing Trick with Randy, especially on this first 3 hour SmackDown. It was cool seeing them kind of like brushing shoulders together. Ultimately, I didn't really like it too much. Like, I hope they don't fight soon just because I don't want to see Randy losing this year. I want to see him eventually make a push to the title. And Trick is so new and like primed up and ready for this that I want to see him go through people, not like lose to bigger names right now. But it was fun to see. And ultimately, man, I do like seeing Trick Williams in general, and I can't wait to start yelling, "Whoop that Trick live."
Like immediately, the last show and this one, just the whole crowd's going off with the whoop that trick chants and stuff. It's cool to see that they know who he is outside of NXT and that the crowd seemed really informed live to really get into him. But I think, yeah, I agree. I don't think he really needs to get into it with Randy just yet. I think that's maybe something that we call back to a year two down the road, you know? Uh, and let Trick kind of get his own get his bearings. And I would love to see a feud between him and Mello eventually. So I think we'll probably see him fall into that US championship belt range mid card before we see him really going for the top. But yeah, man, I thought the that lead up and then leading into the first match with Trick and Ray Phoenix when all went really smooth. And of course, Trick was a little already beat up since eating the draping DDT from Randy before going in.
Match, but the match was fun overall, and it was a great intro for him being into the main card. So excited to see more of him for sure. Next up, we had the Women's United States Championship. Julia ended up defeating Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss has definitely taken some big L's here lately with the Lash Legend and Julia, but I definitely do appreciate them. She's doing a good job with that. And yeah, I'm glad Julia's back. Unlike Becky and Maxine, which I kind of felt like it elevated Maxine's stock. It didn't really feel like this one needed to happen where Julia needed to not have the belt for this long. It kind of felt like it was pointless other than, the storyline where they needed Chelsea to have two belts. But either way, we're here, and I'm glad that Julia has a belt back and we're finally getting to see her have some moments. What did you think of the match?
Yeah, I think starting this year off fresh, man, being able to see Julia get the belt back and immediately the next week have a match, is a big change from her last reign, that we saw last year with it. So I thought the match was, great. I think they were fairly evenly matched, as far as like size and style and everything. They're both more the lightweight, cruiserweight kind of, division. So seeing them out there having a good match, and then of course Alexa has been eating some L's lately, but I think she's going to be able to bounce back from it a lot easier, and putting over the newer stars is great. And then of course having Kiana and Lash Legend both interrupting the match and kind of getting into that whole beat down on Alexa after the match, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see where Alexa goes solo, maybe split away from Charlotte, and see kind of where that whole story goes.
It's fun with her and Charlotte, but I think people are ready for it to move on. And I would like to see her do something after this. I have some ideas, which I'll get into a little bit later, but I think it was a fun match though, and I did like watching it. Oh, for Julia, I think that the WWE definitely does know that she's going to be a better fighting champion week to week if they allow her to over Chelsea. So it's good she has the belt. And I think like it wasn't the best match for her. Like I think people were like super stoked to see her, and I think we'll see more and more better of her. But let's let her cook for like a few weeks before anybody gets too crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's good things on the horizon for her, and especially leading into this um I don't know, more eventful part of the year with Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, lead into WrestleMania. There's going to be a lot going on, and we should see some cool story coming out of it for Julia. But afterwards, there was like a little backstage I wanted to call out for a second with Matt Cardona and Byron. Matt Cardona kind of talking to him about how he's happy to be back, and then going over and kind of telling Cody, like, you see Cody kind of light up, and of course, they're friends outside of everything, but even Matt Cardona's back, he's coming back for that belt. And it's just one more among a bunch of people that seem to be, letting Cody know, hey, I'm coming for that. I mean, you got Sammy, we got Randy, we got Matt Cardona. Everyone's coming for that belt, but he's got to get through Drew first. So it was a cool backstage to see before, just to like that whole sphere running around that belt's going to be interesting going into Rumble and Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that whole debacle, and I'm pretty sure after the main event, let's get into the kind of like the little mini tournament we have coming up here, where Matt Cardona will come back into play. But next up in the night, we had the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six. Man, I really like this one. I've been, as you know, like excited to see these guys mix it up for a while. Unfortunately, I do think that it's been marinating a little too long, right? Some people are soured by it. One of the reasons I think it was so beneficial for Chelsea to get the US belt is that I think it did actually raise her stock in the WWE. I feel like people like the Americanos and Wyatt Six are almost bigger in AAA right now than they're kind of like over in the main card, but I liked it overall. What were your thoughts?
It was a fun way to play it out, the eight-man tag. You having Nikki Cross sit out, and it was interesting to see JC Mateo was the one that set out of the match this time. But
Hmm.
I think the Wyatts have been coming back strong, especially Loomis and Gacy the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Their matches have been getting better and better, and the MFTs are good. I'd say trying to get a little bit more out of Tonga Tonga. I thought having the tag teams kind of start off the match, and then it went into this what I was calling the Battle of the Giants, where we had Eric Rowan and Tonga Tonga going off on each other in the middle of the match, and then of course, we got more with Uncle Howdy and Solo, and the lantern and Solo stealing the lantern and that kind of being the turn on everything. I thought there was a really good story that played out in the match, and it was really entertaining to watch. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it all the way around. I haven't paid attention too much to criticism online on it. I guess I just really haven't been reading anything about it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was one of my sleepers, and I originally was like, this is dragged on so long, I don't want to see more, but I don't mind seeing more of MFTs and the W6 kind of messing around, mixing it up. I think it'll be cool. And then, I mean, there is a couple things I'd like them to fix. I think some of the Wyatt Six promos come across a little bit weak with Uncle Howdy. The ones more recently were pretty good. And then ultimately, like earlier, we were talking about what's next for Alexa. I still think it'd be really dope if they had her join the Wyatt Six and kind of like be a leader in it alongside Uncle Howdy. I know they already have Nikki there, but I think that would be really dope if she can kind of go and lead that group.
Yeah, I think Alexa joining the group would be great. And play something into the story with MFT stealing the lantern. Like maybe other people were ready for it to be over, but I feel like they never even got into it. Like
Yeah.
we kept getting teased on it and teased on it and teased on it for months, but the MFTs weren't around. There was things going on. I think with the John Cena tournament, like a lot of storylines got put on hold, especially on SmackDown and stuff. So I'm not like sick of it. I'm finally glad that we're getting something, and I definitely want to see where it goes from here. Maybe they did let people simmer on it for a little too long, but I thought this match got me excited for it, so definitely happy to see more. And I think that would be a good place for Alexa Bliss to go, and get a little more there. Even if Nikki Cross is there, maybe that'll give Nikki Cross a chance to do something. Maybe not as like a tag team, but they could definitely like group up and do some stuff together too. So I think that could be a lot of fun. I've also really want to call out, I've enjoyed these little bits by Solo in these promos, the vignettes, the after the match, him pulling back on this, got the whole world in his hand, kind of calls out to Bray, and I think that's really firing up Uncle Howdy. But I think we need to see more out of Uncle Howdy, a little more of that character, because I don't think we really know anything about him. Whereas if we're comparing him to um, Bray Wyatt, it's a little different.
Way different, yeah. And I think it does need some help. And Solo's been great, man. I think Solo's been doing great for it. And you're right. The more personal that they had, it's even better. I like how they're talking about like him taking away everything Wyatt from the Wyatt Six, and it seems like the disrespect in the family. That's what I'm hoping leads to some kind of Alexa Bliss entering in. But yeah, more on that. It sounds like
Yeah,
we're both down with it.
I want to see it get more into the Wyatt family again. Less about the, I don't know, the dolls, the Wyatt Funhouse part of it, and more into the Wyatt family. Like these guys are all family now. They're real. They're not these characters. Like they need to ground it a little bit more, and dragging it back to Bray and getting Alexa involved, I think could do all of that.
Next up, we had Jordan Grace, right? Her debut in the main roster, or at least like her return, I guess, to the main roster after a long time. Never saw her before, but I know she was there. She defeats Alba Fire, and then ultimately we get a little teaser with Jade. My overall thoughts, I'm welcoming more talent, more the merrier, especially with this additional hour in SmackDown. I mess with Grace. Honestly, they desperately need somebody to mix it up with Jade, the way it hurt Julia Stock not to wrestle with the belt and just kind of put her in the dark. I think it really hurts Jade's stock that she's there, but not doing anything month after month after month. And they're getting it right with making her look powerful, but man, it's definitely time to make some moves. And yeah, that's my takeaway. And I do like Jordan Grace.
Yeah, agreed on all fronts, man. I'm glad to see a little more talent get introduced into the roster, and yeah, someone else to kind of go up and have a good match with Jade. And I think if they build Jordan up right here before this blow off with Jade, that they can have not a squash match for once. Like let Jade have an all-out brawl with Jordan and them go the distance on the match, and even no matter who ends up with the belt, I think people will be a lot happier than what we've been getting with Jade anyways. But this match with Alba, I really liked, man. I thought it showcased both of them pretty well. Alba sells awesome, and J Jordan was putting like everything in really snug. Everything looked really clean. It felt realer. So I really liked the match though. And that led us into the men's US Championship match next.
For sure, man. Yeah, we had the U.S. Championship Open Challenge. Ultimately ended up being Carmelo Hayes defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. I like the match, and I like that Carmelo's there and he's being seen. I just don't like what they kind of did with his character. I don't like the backstage, him like seeking out opponents. I didn't mind the Miz one at first, um, but it just seems too much nice, too much respect. Seeking out opponents, number one, too much respect, number two, and then number three, I just didn't like the creative as far as like his leg is so hurt after this. It kind of screams like him and Stephanie Vaquer, right? It kind of just seems to me like this is a reason why we could lose a belt soon and look like we're tough and we're facing you despite this injury, but a reason why we could lose the belt. And I hope that's not the case. I really like Melo and I want to see him have a longer reign. But what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think you could also think of it a different way as far as like it rather than having him look injured and oh, this could be a way he loses the belt, which is true, and we've seen it in the past. I am hoping it's the opposite. And it's more of look, he's injured and he still overcame it, makes him look even better when he still wins. So that's where I'm hoping that it's gonna go with the leg. But I loved the match. I thought him just the constant beating on the leg and all of it was just really great. Shinsuke's a veteran out there, and you could see them both go at it. And I think they're 3 for 3 on these Open Challenge U.S. champion holders. So having Sammy, Ilya, now Mello on this, I'm just it's still one of the best things about SmackDown, even if it's going to 3 hours. So I think that's carrying it off into the new year. But um, yeah, this whole match was really good. I thought that was probably one of the better matches I've seen out of Shinsuke uh, since his comeback.
Hmm.
I think out of he had a match with Sammy, he had a match with Dragunov, and now he had a match with Mello, and I think this was my favorite of the three, even though they were all pretty damn good matches.
For sure, man. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Excited to have Melo at that belt. Who knows how long it'll last, but let's keep it going, right? Um, and then next up we had I guess I mean my match of the night, I'm pretty sure everybody's we had Drew McIntyre defeating Cody Rhodes ultimately in the three stages of hell match. We had a regular match, we had a falls count anywhere, and then we had my favorite, the cage match ultimately. I'll let you start, man.
Yeah, dude, I loved this. I loved the 3 stages. I know a lot of people right off the bat were criticizing what stages were chosen and everything. I don't think any of it mattered. I thought the story that they told with all three, it was going to go the three, but you wanted to see how it got there. Like you definitely knew that that false count anywhere match. We at least we hoped that Cody was going to get it. But the whole match was great. Round one was the straight wrestling match. Cody was super aggressive right off the bat. Um, with the disaster kicks and the cutter, and the crowd was pretty split. I thought that we were definitely getting some cheers for Cody. They were loud, but then you'd hear Drew getting right off, right back and forth. So it seemed like a pretty split crowd. I think people were definitely ready for McIntyre to get it. I think it being in Europe definitely played in his favor, but I think people were just ready to see this feud kind of come to an end and to see McIntyre finally get his. But what did you think of that first stage?
I thought it was cool, man. I mean, the first stage wasn't my favorite one overall. I thought it ended up being great. Like I said, particularly that last stage. Definitely noticed the booze and whatnot, but I saw a lot of people making a big deal out of it. Like, Cody's overrated. People are over Cody now, like Jey Uso. I'm like, calm down, bro. I think,
Uh,
it's like they're in
yeah,
Europe and people like Drew. He's the underdog. We've been waiting to see Drew for a while. We saw
yep.
him in the rain in COVID where nobody was there. Then they see him have the belt for like a couple of minutes, before he loses it. So people are just excited. And I think it goes to show, man, even like you're saying, people are bickering about the stages. I was one of them. Um, we just want some exciting new stuff. People think that they know it's
Yeah.
going to happen. We think it's all a foregone conclusion. And because of that, we're picking and choosing. Well, if we're going to get this, at least give me this, as something to make me happy until it happens. And this just goes to show it could have been any stage. You have something exciting, you have something new, everybody's happy. I think if you're complaining about this one, I don't know what you want to see.
Yeah, man, and I think going into the Falls Count Anywhere match, and the first thing we see is McIntyre yank out a table faster. And I think if anyone set a table up, immediately just pick up Cody and powerbomb him through the table was pretty good start to the next section of that match.
Oh
And
yeah.
the Falls Count Anywhere out through the crowd. Uh, was awesome. To be a person in that crowd would have been great. Just to see that them coming up through right next to you, I'm sure was super exciting. And even backstage for like a split second and then back out, setting up some big spots. But this match all around um, was high energy. It kept me invested, and they were really going balls to the wall with it.
I'm absolutely certain that Drew's gonna have a great time parading that belt around Europe for the next, month until they get back to the US. We'll see if he still has it after the Royal Rumble. Hopefully he does, but you never know what could happen. I did love the superplex that Cody got from Drew from the top of the cage. I also love Cody's cutter. You mentioned the table spot. But yeah, ultimately a great match. We have Drew McIntyre winning. Nobody expected it. The people that were hoping for it still didn't think it was going to happen. Random day, just so weird. It could have been a PLE or something, but hey, we get it, so I'm not going to complain about it. And we did have Fatu obviously interrupt, and I mean we were at the San Jose one where we thought we were getting him versus Drew. Who knows what's going to happen with it, but we have the San Jose appearance coming back again, like a week or two before WrestleMania, and I'm hoping we get to see Fatu again. I know he's a Raider fan. Mania is at Allegiant Stadium, so I just think it'll be dope to see Fatu stuff coming back. And yeah, do you have any thoughts on that before we kind of put a button on Raw and give it a thumb up or a thumb down? I mean SmackDown.
Yeah, man, I thought Fatu coming back, like as soon as he showed up, you knew who he was. You could tell from his build. Uh, I I definitely was excited when he started interrupting the match, beating down on Drew. But when he switched over to Cody, I that was when everyone really like even you see the reactions online that was the moment where everyone's like, wait a minute, like Drew could still get out. Like and he just slow-mo kind of tumbles out of there, dude. It was a big pop, but I think what if like we're all like thinking that Drew is the one to that went after Fatu. Fatu was getting his revenge on Drew. But what if it was really Cody? I mean, maybe that's why he went for Cody after all. Uh, I don't know, man. I think that could be exciting too. So I'm definitely excited to see where this story is going to go with Fatu getting his revenge and Drew finally having the belt, at least for a while. So,
Yeah, I
yeah, man, I think all in all, that was a really, really great match. And I thought that I really didn't have any negatives on the show. There were parts that I liked more than others, but there weren't any parts that I really just didn't like. So I give the show a giant thumbs up.
Yeah, thumb up, thumb down. I give it a thumb up for sure. Friday Night SmackDown. It was great in Berlin, Germany. Always a good time in Germany, and in Europe in general when we get to see those shows. I thought that this changed the landscape, right? We always get these random like Triple H tweets that people hate on. Tonight's gonna change the landscape. I was like, this is the night that changed the landscape. You know what I mean? We got this tournament coming up. We have a little, I think it's next week, right? We have four matches, eight people. That's going to eventually lead to a fatal four-way at Saturday night's main event in Canada. And then ultimately, we will have the winner of that go up against Drew McIntyre for the championship at Royal Rumble Riyadh. What are your thoughts on this?
I can't wait to see where they go with this tournament. I think it's going to be really interesting seeing some of the players that are in it. I didn't even realize that we were having a Saturday night's main event literally the week before Royal Rumble. We're only, what, about 2 weeks out from that, so we'll see soon enough.
Okay, so we got Randy Orton versus The Miz, right? Miz KO, if you want to talk about it like that. I don't know what you see in that one. I'm hoping Randy gets the dub in that one.
I
What are
think
your
Randy's
thoughts?
definitely going to get the win in that one. Maybe they surprise us, but I see Randy getting the win there. The only reason I think that maybe they wouldn't and they give it to The Miz is because they want to see Randy in a match at Elimination Chamber instead of Rumble or something. Maybe they want to let someone else get to it first. Maybe they're letting the Randy Cody feud kind of fizzle for a minute.
For
But
sure,
I don't
yeah.
know. I think Randy.
And then we have Matt Cardona versus, let me see here. Was it Trick Williams? Let me see here.
I think it is. I think it is Matt Cardona and Trick Williams, and I think that we're going to see Matt Cardona win that one.
Yeah, that one I'm expecting. Man, I don't like that one. The reason I don't like that one is because they're both newer. And you want to see both of them
Yeah.
look good. But I don't know. I feel like Trick Williams is so big and powerful. I don't think either one of them is going to make it to the end. And I think when Matt Cardona did confront Cody, Cody lost at the end of that night. And still, he wasn't confronting Cody. He's confronting Cody because of the belt, right? So he still wants that belt, which is why he's in this picture. But I don't know. I think I'm going to go the opposite. I think Trick Williams for that one.
All right.
And
All right.
and then
And then I know we got a match with Sammy. Who is Sammy going up against?
okay, so next up we have Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I feel like the company's pretty damn high on Dragunov right now. everybody seems to respect him from Sammy to Carmelo Hayes. The company itself letting him kind of do what he wants, setting him up with this. He has bigger things in mind. At the same time, I didn't realize, I already thought Sammy was going to have a big moment in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. And now that I know that he's going to be in Quebec, Canada for the Saturday night main event before, I kind of feel like I see Sammy defeating Dragunov to have a successful time coming up. What are your thoughts?
I think you're right. And I think that if we're playing into the fact that Royal Rumble's in Riyadh, um, maybe we see Drew and Sammy in Riyadh. Um, and I think if they play the long game on it, knowing that they're going to be back in Riyadh for WrestleMania next year, maybe they have Sammy lose to Drew in Riyadh at Royal Rumble just to get a big title shot there at WrestleMania. I could see that being an even bigger pop for Sammy if they kind of wait to get the payoff. So I think seeing him win up in Canada though is what's going to happen. So is good. I think it's going to be an amazing match, but Sammy's going to win this one. And I think that'll kind of tie it up with him and Dragunov too, since he lost the belt. Um, to Dragunov uh, before, so that'll tie them up.
For sure, yeah. I see Sammy defeating Dragunov, and I know this is going to ruin the rest of my prediction for the little mini eight match or 8-person 4 match tournament here. But I ultimately see Sammy winning Dragunov. I see Sammy, much like you, winning the Fatal 4-Way in Canada, and then I see him getting a huge pop in Saudi. But I see him losing the belt to Drew in Saudi
Yep.
is what I think is going to happen. And then the fourth one, as you said, is Damian Priest versus, remind me who it was?
Solo Sikoa.
Solo. That's gonna be killer.
And
It's gonna be great, but I got Priest.
I got Solo, man. I think Solo's gonna get it. I think having him in that run, I think he'll be a better addition to the Fatal Four Way. If we look at who we think should or maybe will be in the Fatal Four Way, I think Matt Cardona instead of Trick Williams, but I think if we're having Matt Cardona, Randy Orton, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn, that sounds like an amazing Fatal Four Way to me. So I don't know. We could see Priest in there, but I think Priest needs to focus somewhere else. And maybe I don't know, man. I'm not sure where I sit with Priest.
We'll see, but he was so powerful, man. If you would have started watching a couple years earlier, but it is what it is. But yeah, it sounds like I got Priest and Trick Williams, and that's where we differ. You have
I got Solo and Matt Cardona, so we'll
okay.
see who those two end up being. So we're agreed on two, and we'll see on the other ones.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, I know he didn't have too much going on, but we just got to give a moment here for my guy Kit Wilson, right? He's got the song. The song's taking over the
Bro,
internet, taking over the
taking it
radio,
over,
taking over my
taking over my
car.
brain.
See what I'm saying, man? I'm telling you, bro. But yeah, congrats to him. I guess he's had that song for a while, but it hasn't had too much time on air, and with the jumbotron and everything was brand new. And if I looked back at when it was on air before, because I kept seeing that it was not new, and the jumbotron was just way different. I think it goes back to like the old school jumbotrons were much better when it had movement, it had video packaging on it, versus just like Kit Wilson in really big letters. I think this showed it. But yeah, congrats to him. We'll see what's up.
Yeah, and along with the shout out to Kit Wilson and his new song and awesome new intro, but also I saw on social media a couple days ago Elton Prince, the other member of Pretty Deadly, where he's been. He hasn't been on air for a while, and it seemed I guess it seems like back in May he had a really bad injury with a fall on his neck and ended up having neck fusion surgery, and is in like good recovery and everything went well with it. But I saw him coming out and talking about it a couple days ago and getting a lot of support online. So hope he has a good recovery. But I've been kind of wondering where they went and then why Kit Wilson was kind of solo out. But I think this is going to be good all the way around for Kit Wilson to kind of get some solo time, and that entrance definitely helps him with the buzz online.
I'm gonna get to Raw and just try to go through Raw really quickly here. I didn't think Raw was anywhere as good as Friday Night SmackDown, but I also thought people were hating on it a little bit too hard. It was the Stranger Things edition. Kind of had Stranger Things visual displays. It was cool. Kind of reminded me of the decorations they had when I went to a quote unquote Stranger Things experience that was in San Francisco for a while. But nothing crazy. I think it just missed because the last episode already aired by the time that WWE did this. And nonetheless, I didn't mind it as much as the internet did. It was a bit overwhelming for the opening Raw of the year, but I think that was probably the reason people hated on it more than anything. What were your thoughts?
I'm gonna get my hate out of the way right off the bat. I thought that the Stranger Thing theme was really cool. I thought the
Hmm.
visuals were really cool. I thought they dropped the ball majorly on having that translate into maybe some match elements, maybe props, or bits on the costume. So I think that as far as the theme of the episode with the music and everything, I thought that was cool, but I don't think it was enough. I think if they were going to do a Stranger Things themed episode, that it really needed to kind of go all in on it, and it felt like they just kind of had like a little bit of decorations and some music, and that was it. Now you showing up to a theme party and nobody's in costume except for you, and there's just a couple streamers hanging around. It didn't feel like it went all in on it. My other big gripe, I would say, with that episode of Raw, because I liked the matches overall, was the crowd. I thought the crowd kind of killed it for me. I think this was the one
Brooklyn,
they
right?
were in Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought the Brooklyn crowd, um, wasn't all in moments where I thought they should be, and it really didn't add to the energy of some spots and matches in the show that could have been amazing, but weren't because the crowd wasn't in it. And I thought there's no bigger night and day of that between having the that on Raw and then seeing Berlin here with SmackDown. So, of course, the European shows, the crowd's always killer and they're happy to be there and everything. I wish we would have got that energy out of Brooklyn, especially with it being a themed episode too, is to really get people in it and see more Stranger Things stuff around.
Yeah,
But
it
those are
was.
my big gripes.
I feel it, man. And I wasn't even gonna talk about this. I already had it like way out of my mind, but and wrestling fans are very fickle, man. We always have a saying in boxing that boxing has the worst fans in the world. Like it's a very much like what have you done for me lately? You make one wrong move and everybody's judging you. It's the same exact thing with WWE, and I think like kind of the Gunther segment, the people coming in and out for pops, but nothing really happening with them, and then coupled with the fact that I guess they sold a lot of tickets last minute after Adam Pearce like did the whole like who's gonna break the walls down tonight, and everybody assuming Jericho was gonna come because they kind of did hint at it, had to do with it too. They were even chanting like Jericho chants for one of the female matches that night, so. We had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defeating the Kabuki Warriors. I'm not going to spend too much time because I'm trying to make this short. Whatever. We've seen it before. Happy they have the belts. I'm sure it's friendlier names to reel people into bigger matches coming up in PLEs, but they could have done the Kabuki Warriors a little bit better over the last couple months, even if they were going to lose. And that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I thought the warm up to the match could have been a little bit better. I thought that this match should have happened sooner, when people were more fired up for it. But all in all, second half of the match and the finish was really good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my least favorite. Happy that Rio and uh, yeah, happy that Io and Rhea have the belt now. So we'll see where it goes from here with the tag team division and everything.
Hell yeah, man. And then next up we had AJ Gunther, which was a big thing for me. Number one, surprised that it's happening now. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means, oh great, this is gonna drag on for months and months and be a whole long saga. Or I don't know if it's gonna be a short thing like I thought it was gonna be, and it's actually just gonna happen and be over now. Um, I guess before we get into what our thoughts were on it, what do you prefer? Do you prefer that this is like something that starts now, kind of like we had with Breaker and Punk, and we assuming it's just going to be elongated now, and we were thinking it was going to be a one and done here? Or do you prefer it to go for a long time, or just be like a short thing here with as far as the beef with Gunther and AJ?
I think that the beef with Gunther and AJ ends here. I think that no matter, I think they have to have Gunther win
Yeah.
to build him the way they have been.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think it retires AJ. Um, I don't think AJ is ready to retire yet. I don't think that should be his retirement match. I don't think we have to have Gunther retire people. I think we just need to have Gunther beat people. So, I would honestly, and I've thought about what I would love to see for an AJ retirement match if he was gonna, go the put over newer talent kind of route. I would love to see a Carmelo Hayes AJ Styles match. I think it would be fucking amazing.
That would be cool. I was actually thinking Trick Williams, and AJ Styles, but either or, I would not be upset about it. But yeah, overall, it just felt weird to me, man. Obviously not surprised. We saw a preview where it was, a line of people. We had Otis, and then we had R-Truth, and then we had AJ, and I just assumed that would be the order that we were getting. Surprised that we haven't gotten Otis first. We already got R-Truth, and now we're getting AJ. So it seems like they went down that order, but for some reason there was a pivot. You would have think Otis would have been the first one to get demolished.
I don't think we needed the Otis match, and I don't think anyone online really thought we needed the Otis match either.
I agree
Otis
with
called his
that. Yeah.
shot and everything on a commercial, and I think that's why they do some of those segments on commercial. While, yeah, we watch it with the VPN and the international stream, I think they're testing out to see what the crowd feedback is to these moments online. And then if it's not necessarily favorable, they just don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I'm actually fine with that. Like, it doesn't always have to have that payoff. Maybe we get the payoff later. Maybe we get the payoff with Otis after AJ Styles when they need to fill space one week. They want to just have Gunther come out and squash someone else.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, they could that could pay off at any point and it still makes sense. It doesn't have to happen right away. So I'm not too upset about it. But let's get on to the next match here. We had the IC title, the women's IC title with Maxine Dupree defending against Becky Lynch.
Yeah, really quick. Right call going into the new year. People like, yo, you deserve it. Like we're about to get Drew McIntyre with a sea of people over the next week, and he does deserve it. Maxine is one of those ones where people are chanting, you deserve it. Did she really deserve it? I don't know compared to the other people. But did I love it? Yes, I did. She grew a lot. Her stock rose a lot. And I think it was good that she had this. It made sense, even though we're right back to where we were. It's a right call. It makes sense. Becky going into these big runs with this title. Maxine is now elevated. Definitely, she had some sloppy spots in this match. And I don't think it was the best way for her to go out. However, the fashion was great. People fell in love with her, and I'm happy the belt's back with Becky, at least for now.
Yeah, I think that it was the right call at the right time. I thought the timing for Maxine's run was perfect. It was just long enough for us to get some good matches out of her and for her to really gain some steam. I thought that they could have, I think the big miss out of her entire run is that she didn't get new music. I thought she should have got new music right off the bat. I thought they still should have done it. They never did. And that feels like a missed moment to really push her as her own entity. But yeah, I think the match was great, and I'm happy that Becky's got the belt back. I think she's gonna use it really well here going into this next season. I hope to put someone else over, but if it's what people think, and we're gonna get this AJ Lee, Becky Lynch kind of blow off match and all that, finally, I'm happy to see that too. So either way. Becky Lynch is gold. Honestly, out of all the female wrestlers last year, she was probably one of my favorites, with everything she did on the show, online, and just kind of all of it. So, I'm big fan.
Yeah, I'm really weird with Becky. She's not one of my favorites, and I was really bummed out. I think when we first started watching it together, I can't remember when she returned last year, if it was the Royal Rumble or what pay-per-view it was, but off the top of my head right now. But I was
That was
disappointed.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, yeah, and I was a little bit disappointed. She's not one of my favorites. I was kind of over her when she went away. I know people love
I
her.
was, but yeah, she got me over. She won me over fairly quickly after the Lyra and all that stuff kind of paid off with Bailey and Lyra. I think that was really started to sell it for me.
Yeah, and I think the whole like mimicking Trump and everything right now, it's great. I love her more than I've ever loved her right now. We'll see how long it lasts. But speaking of people needing new songs, that leads me into the Usos and the crowd promo, right? They're still coming out to Jay Uso, but they're
Man,
clearly
I don't
together.
even think we need to talk about this. I'm gonna try to just forget that it ever happened. All it made me want was the New Day to actually have it because I love hearing the New Day talk way more than like hearing the Usos come out and talk. So I'm gonna try not to be negative on it, and I have no comment.
I will say, man, a lot of people were giving the WWE flack for having the Javon Evans signing segment during commercial break. I will say to give fire to that flame, that this could have been on a commercial. We didn't really get
Yep.
anything out of this other than just saying, "Hey, we here, we're the Usos," you know what I mean? And we already know
I'm
that.
surprised it wasn't on commercial.
Yeah,
I was
really
like,
weird.
wait, there's no timer at the top of my screen. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, we'll leave that there. I got a comment out of you, but it is what it is, we'll leave it there. Up next, I guess we
Yeah.
have Raquel attacking Stephanie Vaquer, La Primera. Obviously not a real injury. I don't think they would have let her mess up her leg like that if it was already messed up. All
Yep.
I could say is I think if she loses after this and it's because of the injury, what a shitty reign. She basically was stuck in this bullshit, and then now it's time for her. But at the same time, if she loses to Raquel, Raquel gets a belt, and then she goes up and loses it to Liv, and then later on we get Liv versus Stephanie to run it back. I'm not mad at it. Don't like the storyline right now, but I'm gonna be, positive and see where they go with it before I complain too much.
Yeah, I liked the segment. I was worried when she first came out, but as soon as I saw Raquel really like laying in the attacks on the boot, I'm like, all right, cool. I I'm like I got comfortable just enjoying the story at that point rather than going like actually being worried that Stephanie Vaquer is about to like just have to resign the belt or something like that. So
For
I'm
sure.
happy that this is going to play out into some story match, and I want to see a one-on-one with Stephanie and Raquel. I didn't like the Nikki being involved. I still didn't care for Nikki being involved, and I'm happy that we're just going to see the two of them, hopefully.
I feel it, man. I'm gonna keep going quickly here because I gotta be at a Sharks game in less than an hour. But next up we have Liv beats Lyra. Good to have Liv back live in action. Even though Lyra loses, at least it's for a reason and a distraction, scuffle type of deal, which gives her some reasoning and protection to her character. Either way, Liv had a win, no doubt, and I ain't complaining about having Liv Morgan back, man.
I loved it, loved the match, thought it was really fun. Great first match back for Liv, and yeah, very happy to have her back. I think she was missed sorely on the show. So yeah, I'm all for it and can't wait to see what we get out of Liv next.
All right, man. Now for the World Heavyweight Championship match, we had Braun Breaker, the challenger, versus CM Punk, the current title holder. Um, yeah, I guess I'll give you my quick thoughts on this. Once the first two titles changed over, I was like, there's no way all three are going to turn over, man. So I was originally thinking Braun Breaker was going to win. Once I saw the first two turn over, I said, well, I guess CM Punk's going to get it. And that did end up happening. I'm personally happy Punk won, quite simply. I just don't think Braun Breaker's perfectly ready for it. At the same time, to contradict myself, I think what should have happened is that Breaker should have won. I think if it's going to drag out into a replay, then him spearing and looking so powerful and it kind of being unclear if he's the leader of the Vision or not, and having the promo of the year, but then not looking as great in a couple of them after, and CM Punk looking a little bit better in the promos. I just don't think it helps his character. And if this just drags on to another big PLE where he wins, it's going to be like, well, then why do we have this one? And it would have just made him look more powerful if he just won it right away. That literally contradicts what I just said but you just said he wasn't perfectly ready yet. So, take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. Other than that, my only other note is I don't think it's fair that Ray Mysterio gets a 3-on-3 to help him out versus the Vision, but LA Knight's got to take on the Vision solo dolo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could chalk that up to LA Knight being
So powerful.
yeah, I was gonna say less friendly with working with other people.
Yeah.
But he kind of was with Jimmy, but not with Jay, and then this. So like he kept trying to help out and get people to help him out, but he could never really make those connections the way Rey Mysterio can. You know, the luchadors all sticking together, and I loved them working together with Punk on this. I thought all in all, man, the match, the back and forth was great. It had some really old school vibes to it. Um, just great match. The runouts were fun. The missed spears into the corners, the gut busters, like all of it was really fun. I thought Punk punching Heyman was a cool moment. And then Breaker missing the spear and just flying out of the damn ring was pretty wild. And Punk missing that dive looked brutal. It just like dropped him on the floor. There were some really fun spots, but uh, when Braun Breaker literally speared CM Punk's boot halfway off his foot. I thought that was a pretty cool highlight reel. But ultimately, I'm really glad that Punk got the win. I think having him with the belt leading into Royal Rumble, and seeing where that's all going to go is going to be a lot of fun. I don't have gripes with it being a slower burn for Braun Breaker. I thought it would have been really abrupt for him to win now, even though I do think he's technically ready. I don't think the story is just ripe enough yet. I think it's going to pay off better down the road. So we'll kind of see how well they pay that off and if people are happy with it when it finally happens. But I'm still all for it. I thought it was a great match and definitely my match of the night for that Stranger Things Raw.
There you go, man. There you go, brother. That's our wrap up, I guess, for this week's SmackDown and Raw. We gave SmackDown a thumb up. What did you give this one? We had Monday Night Raw, first one of the year, Stranger Things, thumb up, thumb down. Me personally, I'm gonna give it a thumb in the middle. I'm not gonna give it a thumb down. I know a lot of people hated on it. It could have been much better, but at the same time, I think we were overhyping it because it was the first one of the year. That's our fault. I think WWE really likes to blame fans for stuff, but then at the same time, they also teased it themselves about the Jericho. That was their fault. But I'm not gonna give it a thumb down. I'm not gonna give it a thumb up. Thumb in the middle for me.
I would agree. I think thumb in the middle. I think thumb up for the matches. I thought the matches were great. Thumb down for I would say maybe the location and the crowd energy. I didn't feel the energy for that show, so I'm gonna say it sat right in the middle for me. And yeah, our expectations might have been a little high on it, especially coming from the first show of the year, which was that first SmackDown we didn't even really get to talk about, and that show blew me out of the water. I loved it. Was just a night of pops. So. This sitting right in between two really good SmackDowns, I think makes it look not quite as good, but I thought the show was still enjoyable. And I wanted to get your opinion on the new theme music, Eminem doing the theme music. I kind of liked it. It was a lot of fun.
I'm with it, man. Bring back the good music. I'm all about it. One little thing I wanted to talk to you about, I thought it'd be fun to do since it's the first Raw and SmackDown of the year, and I think it'd be cool to kind of like keep tally and see by the end of the year what show we give the most points to. If you had to kind of put it up against each other, right? Week in review, Raw, Stranger Things versus SmackDown Berlin. Only one gets a point, right? Consider this the first round of the year. Who gets a point for you this week if you can only give one out?
SmackDown gets my point for this week. That's, I think, an easy pick for me.
Hell yeah, man. We'll keep a tally for the year and see what happens, but I'm definitely in agreement. Sounds like we both agree. Raw thumb in the middle, SmackDown thumb up, and SmackDown gets our point of the week. And we'll talk again next week for another review of SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah, brother, you have a good one. Have a good night at that game, and I will catch you at the end of the week.
All right, peace.
Have a good one.